So this was week 3 of the Grapejuice Draft League. Um, Last week I had a forfeit win. My opponent wasn't able to show up for the time we scheduled, and I couldn't reschedule and missed of midterms, which I'm currently still in. This is my break from my constant midterm studying as I throw back more monster energy. Now, I played Grapejuice. Me and Grapejuice have a little bit of history. We've played a good amount. He's in MSPL. We played for our finals in Lake of Rage, which was Reg F No Terra. My record against him is pretty good. I've had good success against Scrape, but I kind of felt like this is where it could change because he had a lot of motivation to beat me. Personally speaking, I always feel like I prep better against people I really personally want to beat. So I kind of knew Grape was going to come out the box cooking. I was right, but not in the way I thought. The way I prep, if people don't know, is I try to find a line, a tree, basically two Pokemon as a lead that can stop everything. In this situation, the lead I can actually use 3 Pokemon. Since Miraidon is so incredibly stupid, and Volt Switch does such high damage, I can use Volt Switch to allow myself to make 3 Pokemon to basically beat the team. In this situation, the lead I was going to do was Miraidon and Electric Seed Dango. Now, the thing he didn't bring that I was kind of scared of was the Walking Wake because it was fast, and I made this team very slow because I'm playing against Trick Room. So, in my head, when I play against Trick Room, I don't want to put speed in things. I just want to be bulky enough to live the Trick Room turns. Because then once I'm out of Trick Room, I'm just naturally going to be faster with stuff like Miraidon, the Landorus, and the Iron Valiant. That kind of came back to bite me, which we'll see on like turn 2 or turn 1 of game 1. But let's go over like my original plan. How I saw this game going, because I have played Grapejuice before with the Cali Ice and Smeargle team, and Follow Me Trick Room, or Fake Out Trick Room, either or. If he wanted to do that, he would need to be very confident in his read, or make sure he Terrafires. I kind of knew Terrafier Cali Shell was coming, because you need to resist Make It Rain, and if you're not resisting Make It Rain with fire, you're doing it with water. I don't recommend that, personally, with the Miraidon. And Terra Steel doesn't really change much for me. Also, I still have Landorus, and I have other things to punish steel types, like the Chi-Yu, which I just didn't bring because I kind of predicted Terra Fire personally. So the game plan was Terra Ghost Miraidon, as you can see on the Open Terra. It specs Miraidon, it's as basic as you're going to get. The idea here is that I Volt Switch and Nasty Plot. If he clicks Follow Me Trick Room, I will bring the Smeargle down to its Focus Sash, which is very, very important for this matchup. I need to make sure Smeargle has its Sash gone, so if I need to kill it, I can kill it, because Goldango is my most important Pokemon here. So after we get the Volt Switch, we switch into a Scraggy. I get my Nasty Plot up. The Fake Out, the Follow Me, whatever he clicks, it won't work against, or Spores won't happen here either because of Electric Terrain plus Dango. So whatever he clicks doesn't really matter for the Smeargle. I'm just hitting it down to Sash. Right? He gets Trick Room up, I get Nasty Plot up. I have a very bulky Goldango that gets the +1 with that Electric Seed to live 2 high horsepowers, so I was confident. Now, switching in Scraggy lets me do 2 things. 1, Intimidate. If not Clear Him, it makes Dango live even more things. And 2, Fake Out Pressure. So I can click Fake Out, or what it would be was knock off into Smeargle and predict the fact that Calyrex was going to protect. Once the Calyrex protects and the Dango, hits it with Shadow Ball and it protects, Scraggy is slower and can Encore it into Protect. If I feel like the Calyrex Shadow might not protect, I can just Encore it into Trick Room, and that problem's still solved. Either way, I'm making the Calyrex either have to switch out or be incapacitated, which is a win-win for me, because now I get to stall turns of Trick Room that way, while having a +2 Dango on the field. That is very hard to get rid of. You can see how physical this team is, minus the Heatran. And in Trick Room, I kind of assumed I could be slowed in the Heatran if you put any speed in it. He did, and it just didn't go my way. The Landorus was my cleanup mon. His team is very weak to ground, even with the Calyrex Ice. I wasn't too worried about it. I knew I was never going to Terra with it. If you look at my open Terras, a lot of Terra Water. And I would say almost all Terra Waters except the 1 Terra or the 2 Terra Ghost for the fake outs. Iron Vow was just here in case Wake was brought. I needed, if I was losing to Wake, I needed a way to kill Wake. That's what Iron Valiant was for. Illumise was just a coverage one, right? It had Charm, Rain Dance, and Encore, stuff like that. So Encore stopped Trick Rooms, the Rain Dance to stop the Torkoal he didn't bring, or to make me resist whatever fire move he was throwing at Dango. Charm to stop the Calyrex Ice if that got out of hand. I think I had Tailwind too, just in case, something crazy happened. I need speed control. Um, that was the team. Like I said, I was kind of assuming he was going to bring something like the Calyrex Ice and Trick Room. When I saw this original six, my thought is, oh, hard Trick Room. I see No Wake, I see Mimikyu, and I'm like, that's hard Trick Room. We're playing hard Trick Room. I'm so confident in this matchup at the moment. My only fear is that Calyrex Ice could make it a bit awkward if it's Clear Amulet, and just make it that Dango has like I think it was like a 70, 80% chance to live 2 high horsepowers. I'd rather make it 100 because the way I prep, I don't like leaving doubt in like anything. And, oh, and this motherfucker. There are two Pokemon I hate to prep against because they cause so many inconsistencies. Lando I, because T waves just are unpredictable. You can prankster T wave, you can't stop really, and getting fully parried can just ruin my plans. The second one's Smeargle, because you can't prep for it. It can have Fake Out, it can have Spore, it can have Wide Guard, it can have Quick Guard, it can have, what am I missing? Follow Me. It could have Trick Room. It could be an Imprisoned set to just shut down my Miraidon. It could be whatever it wants to be, and that is scary. So you kind of just have to hope it's the Follow Me basic set that I'm thinking without Spore, obviously, because I have the Miraidon, but Miraidon is nice because I stop Spores, but it also sucks because now I have to try to guess what random move this Smeargle is going to have. But let's get into the match. Now, I need to make it that I can pause because I'll be pausing a lot. Here's the lead. Is this game 2? That's game 2. Whoops. Here's the lead. Let me switch perspectives. Let me go to turn 1. So, not what I was expecting at all. I'm not gonna lie, I was never gonna guess this. By the way, nicknames were all. I was going down here, like, this was like Timu Lando I, this was like Timu Mega Glade, Timu Whimsicott, Timu Incineroar. Uh, and then I got to these two, and I'm like, dude, they're just the best of what they can be. So we have not Timu and Timu prices, because motherfucker was cheap in this draft. Let me tell you, Dango, sick value. But, um, I see this lead, and I wasn't really expecting the Raichu in the front. I kind of expected Raichu to be in the back, like this trap card of like, am I gonna switch in Raichu? Yes or no. If I switch in Raichu, what are you clicking? This was a game state in prep I hated. I fucking hated this game state because my specs Miraidon is Electro Drift, Draco Meteor, Volt Switch, and Dazzling Gleam. Resisted Draco, resisted Dazzling Gleams, immune to Electric. So like this game state for him is not bad. The thing is, Dango is still kind of safe here to get a nasty plot up if I Terra, right? Earth Power, Fire move, Protect, maybe a Steel move, covering Terra Fairy. So I felt pretty good just getting my nasty plot up here and just switching out Miraidon into basically anything. I chose switching out into Scraggy just because Intimidate and Fake Out. The Intimidate will help if this is like Nuzzle or something. Oh, I didn't switch. Oh, this was the Landos. I'm getting my fucking games mixed up. I switched into Lando here because I'm expecting Fake Out. And I kind of wanted to keep Scraggy alive in case Trick Room came up later in the game that I need to have health on it. The other thing is I am Life Orb Landorus T. Nothing is taking Stomping Tantrum on this team. Look at it and tell me what survives it. The only thing that survives Stomping Tantrum is the Calyrex Shadow, or the Calyrex Ice, before it Terras. After it Terras, it also dies as Stomping Tantrum. So this team just gets mauled by it, which is something that Grape really prepped for that I really didn't want to lean into too much. But we get the Fake Out, and we get a really nice switch into the Earth Power. The Earth Power wasn't a read. It was more just like, be safe. And I wanted to switch into something. I was more just preventing the Fake Out because I really wanted to Terra Michael Dango this turn. For this reason. Now, this turn, you may have realized something. The Heatran's faster than me. That's really bad. Because he didn't click Trick Room, and this Heatran's now faster than me. It's fine this game because I have Terra watered. I have Terra available to me. If I don't have Terra available to me, this is really fucking bad. Because I can't live a Magma Storm. right? I kind of assumed this was going to be Life Orb. It didn't turn out to be, as you can see from not taking recoil. Or just I guess I haven't had, but it doesn't turn out to be Life Orb. Like I wasn't confident in taking many special moves. My Dango was very physically bulky to be able to take 2 high horsepowers without terroring. So this turn, my plan's simple: kill the bitch ass mouse. I want the Raichu dead because then Miraidon just kind of sweeps his team. Like what stops it? The only thing that's really gonna stop it is Iron Hands, and that just means I have to switch out and do some moving around. Plus, Iron Hands isn't going to take much from the Landorus T. So my plan, simple. Now, I caught a nice switch there. I knew Terra Grass was coming. I kind of assumed it was going to be Terra Grass or Terra Bug. Either way, it's resisting my ground move. So throwing the ground move into the Raichu and getting rid of it was just the safest play for my endgame state. Also, the Shadow Ball into Heatran is just the safest play for having the Heatran take a massive amount of damage or just die. Stomping does so much damage. And then Shadow Ball. Oh, sorry. Terra Blast. I lift this, and I don't know how. Like, I did the calc after, and this was like a higher roll, but like, I didn't think I was. I didn't put that much special bulk into Dango. He has a lot of HP, but like, it was mostly towards physical bulk. And then Shadow Ball does a lot. The fact that my +2 Shadow Ball did the same as his neutral or his super effective Terra Grass, Terra Blast is wild. I saw that, I'm like, holy fuck, Heatran is crazy. I get that super effective, but I'm +2. It's bullshit. And I'm a Goldango. Look at me. Now, this was the first mistake I think I made where Heatran doesn't have much to punish me. But I was just so scared of Fake Out. In my head here, I'm like, just don't lose anything this turn. If I don't lose anything this turn, I can pick up a double next turn. I could have got really fucking greedy and picked up one here, made him bring in the Raichu, and then protected those turns. I just didn't get greedy. I was still feeling pretty confident with the game state, so I just kind of wanted to keep it as is. I see Ice Punch. Now, when I see Ice Punch, my head, sick, it's AV. I kind of assumed it was going to be AV beforehand, but when I see Ice Punch, I'm thinking Fake Out, Drain Punch, Wild Charge, Ice Punch, right? I was wrong. This is not AV, which we see later, but like, I was convinced it was AV for this whole set. Stomping kills the Heatran. I target Heatran just because if I don't kill the Heatran, then my Dango's dead, and obviously Dango will outspeed the hands and pick it up. So we get 2 quick kills like that. Now we have a game state of Raichu and Calyrex Shadow versus my 4. I kind of had a feeling that -1 Raichu wasn't going to kill Dango with Nuzzle. The Nuzzle was a read, but in my head it is Landorus can do more once it is safe, right? I rather get the Intimidate with Scraggy on the field, see if the Cali Shadow is Clear Amulet, and just intimidate the Raichu, have a chance to live, and then strike back and kill the Raichu. When Raichu's dead, I win this game, just like that. If Trick Room goes up, and oh, that's the other thing. If he clicks Trick Room this turn, if he goes Fake Out Trick Room, and I switch into Scraggy, I Encore the Calyrex and I win. Or I Encore the Raichu and I win. Either way, something's getting Encored into either Fake Out, Trick Room, or Protect in a later turn. So this was always the Scraggy switch to me. No Clear Ram, minor pop off here. I'm gonna stay safe because I don't want that to Fake Out. Or Nuzzle, but this just gives me that extra time. Also, if he would have clicked like Trick Room here, I can just win the game. Electric Train goes away, which is fine. He protects there. I doubled into Raichu. I kind of assumed Protect was coming, and I'm not scared of him clicking any other button, right? If he kills Dango this turn, I'm fine with it. Here's where we get the flinch. Here was the other fuck up. I could have clicked Shadow Ball here and won the game on this turn just like that. For some reason, I was scared of him not protecting. I think it was just like a coverage of like me clicking Make It Rain here is just safer, which it is. So it's a minor fuck up, but like I could have just clicked Shadow Ball and then bangs the 4 on game 1. But instead, I ended up taking the Nuzzle since it was -1. Paralyzed Dango faster than Calyrex Shadow, even with my slow Dango. We pick up the Raichu, Glacial Lance, then picks up my Dango, which leaves Team Moon Cinewater to click knockoff. I was debating if I wanted knockoff or foul play. I chose knockoff because it was safer. The thing with foul play is, yes, it does a lot of damage to Cali Shadow, especially when those kills start ramping up. But my plan was not let it get a kill. If it doesn't get kills, foul play sucks. Also, if Trick Room goes up, I'm never gonna foul play it. I'm gonna encore it. I'm gonna stop I'm gonna take it out of Trick Room. So I didn't have to really worry about that. I rather knock off because it covered more things. It covered sashes, it covered citrus, it covers life orb, it covers mental herb. It helps me more in the situations I wanted it to. And in this case, I probably could have gotten away with it, but I also got info. As you see here, that was loaded dice Calyrex Ice. That was not expected. I don't know. Like, I know why it was loaded dice. Grape did a lot of prep with some other people, and they people prep differently than I do. I think it's one of my strengths in draft is the way I prep is so stupid that it's hard to replicate. So some people found that he was prepping with found like Parabolic Charge, Wide Guard, Specs Miraidon. And it was just, or Calm Mind, Parabolic Charge, Miraidon that was just healing so much that the team that Grape was planning just could not beat it. I didn't see that. I just found this way to be more consistent, thinking he was going to go Trick Room. And that's the one thing about this team is I have so many ways that I can win that it's kind of hard to call them all out on one, which lets me do stuff like this. Uh, but the loaded dice was a cool cook. It was for Icicle Spear, because, that does more than Glacial Lance will. Also, I have 2 Wide Guard Mons. I only brought one, and it didn't even have Wide Guard on it, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it was Moonblast. Or no, it was physical, so it was um, Spirit Break, Close Combat, Taunt Protect, I think is what it ended up being. But yeah, so I do like the cook of Icicle Spear because it makes it safer into my Miraidon Iron Vow league, which is what I did in my first set of this league. And then I just went from here. Drift's always killing. And there's game 1. Now, this game 2 gets fun as he switches leads. The reason this game 2 gets fun is because some things I didn't expect to happen happened. And a rule I always made with myself came up. Let me do. So, as you can see, we have. Oh, shit. We have Dango. We have Miraidon. And then we have the lead I prepped for. Now, I had plans for every scenario with this lead. There was one issue. It is open Terra. So I know the Smeargle is Terra Ground. That's an issue because I have Volt Switch and this whole plan revolves around me getting Miraidon out of the active safely. He can Terra Ground and just stop that. But if he Terra Grounds and clicks Trick Room, then I can just blow it up with Dango the next turn with Make It Rain, and then problem solved. Something I didn't expect happened here, and it was wild. So here's the plan. The plan is we Terra Ghost for the fake out. We always Volt Switch to Calyrex, just in case he doesn't quick follow me. It's a 50-50 whether I want it or not, but since I had Scraggy coming in with fake out, I could double it that turn and deal with it that way. I was also just scared of Terra Ground, but I'm like, I don't think he's going to Terra Ground with Smeargle. I think he really wants to Terra this Calyrex or that Heatran later on in the game. I Terra Ghost, he Terra Fires. Immediately, I'm like, sick. Good spot. Scarf Smeargle is cooking. And it was Scarf Transform. So Grape just kind of forgot that Good as Gold stops all status moves. It stops Taunt, it stops Encore, Transform, it stops Eerie Impulse. Anything that's a status move, anything that doesn't do damage, just doesn't work against Goldango. This thing is stupid. Here's my thing is, I lose this game if he just transforms into my Miraidon. That's game. I lose. Because this turn, here's what happens. I click Volt Switch. I get a really nice Volt Switch off. I go into my Scraggy. Now, at this point, he would have intimed, or he would have transformed into Miraidon. I still go in the Scraggy because I can't go in the Landorus safely because I'm assuming this is a Glacial Lance, which, as we'll also hear. Oh, well, first we see a nasty plot. Then we also see Look how much Glacial Lance does with crit. That is -1. I am +1 for that. So I'm +1 physical defense. But like that, this thing is crazy. Calyrex Ice is so bulky, it is absurd. But um, if he transforms into Miraidon there, I'm in big trouble. Because now I have to fake out the Miraidon. Yes, fake out Shadow Ball kills the Miraidon. But it just puts me in a weird spot where I let Calyrex get a free turn. I'm not assuming it would be trickery, I'm kind of assuming it would just be high horsepower, but with the amount of damage I took from crit, it would put me in a more awkward position. Now, I don't know if it shows here yet, it doesn't. There it is. At this point, Grapejuice said GG, that's game. He said game because he lost a lot of momentum that turn. I think as most people could tell, right, when you click a button that does nothing and you take over half on your restricted, it hurts. The rule I've always made to myself is I never say GG before the game ends, and I broke that rule myself against the chef like earlier in this season in this league, and then I won. And I always feel bad when I say GG and I won, also because the game's never truly over, because he has so many options out of this. And in this game state, or not this game state, but here we'll hit play and we'll let this turn come out. My plan here is fake out and shadow ball. I can't shadow ball the Smeargle, and I do want to keep my +2 on Dango, right? I think it was knockoff. But it was knockoff because I knew it was going to transform. If it transforms into my Scraggy, I'll just click knockoff and end that one easily, right? So there's a shadow ball, and there's a knock where we figure out this is Covert Cloak Heatran. Cool. So in this game state, I feel really shitty. I cannot protect my Dango. As in, not protect is like not. I can yes, I can click the button, but I can't keep it safe. I can protect it for one turn, let it get Calyrex get chip onto my Scraggy, and then what? And then it next turn I just die to the Earth Power with a Magma Storm, and then Calyrex can pick up a +1 boost with Glacial Lance and kill the Scraggy, and then the game is harder. So I just said screw it. Let's let my Dango go down. Yes, it sucks that I have had a +2 Dango in 2 straight games, and it has gotten 2 kills. But I like my positioning with that board, with Terra Fire, Calyrex Ice, and Heatran. This board looks a lot better with a Landorus on the field, personally. So Magma Storm does pick up the kill. Glacial Lance, and we get a knock into Land, and we just get a knock into this Calyrex. Timus and Incineroar doing great work, and we go into Landorus. This Calyrex right now is obsolete to me, because I can take a Glacial Lance at -2. Here's the thing. I didn't know during the game that I could take +2 Glacial Lance, because I didn't know if he was max attack adamant or if he was bulky yet. It never came up. My checks in my head to know if he was bulky or not never happened. I never got to click Electro Drift into Calyrex at full HP. I clicked it into him at like 70%. It's always doing 70%. So my thought here was Rock Slide. If the Cali protects, it's okay. I get chip on the Heatran, and then the next turn, I click Rock Slide again, Cali dies, maybe Heatran dies. I was kind of assuming Heatran would get a 2-co, plus with the knockoffs from my Scraggy helping out. So there's our first protect, here's our Rock Slide. I see 26, and I'm like, ooh, that's not bad, because Scraggy's about to get a knock. Magma Storm hits, does a lot of damage. There's our knock that does 19. I did 26% on the Rock Slide, and I just did 19% on the knockoff, which tells me that this Heatran should die next turn, right? I forgot in my head that, one, the Rock Slide won't kill the Heatran this turn, and then I die to Life Orb, and he kills my Scraggy. But I said, no way, it's fine. At least I'm killing the Calyrex Ice. Get rid of it, get it off my field. Just, it's one less mon I have to worry about. It's one less mon that he can switch out and bring back in later. He got double protect. This is also why I never say, don't say GG before the game's over, because that double protect may have just given him an out. The out now is, I don't have Landorus, I have to bring him a Miraidon. He's going to get a double kill, as we see here. Rock Slide, hits, does not kill, 2%. The first one was a min roll into it was min roll into mid roll. So if I could have mid rolled twice, we would have killed. But game happens, right? At least I hit my rock slide. I die. Keytrain kills me. Now let's look at the board state. Electric Train goes away, so I get Miraidon with all 5 turns of Electric Drain. Miraidon's in a 1v4. That's simple. I have a Terraghost Miraidon in a 1v4. My moves are Electro Drift. If I click, I'm Specs, so I'm locking in, right? If I click Electro Drift, I lose because I just can't kill the Raichu. If I click Volt Switch, I lose. I can't kill the Raichu. If I click Draco, I will not be able to kill the max HP or the full HP Raichu. Or the full HP Sash Smeargle also causing me issues. If I click D-Gleam, and the Smeargle has Wide Guard, I lose. I decided to hedge my bets because if I click D-Gleam this turn, I kill both those mons on the field. They both die. Fine. Which just makes my differential lower. And I was just going to take that at this point, right? Take a lower differential I can get. The other thing is, do I think a Scarf Smeargle has Wide Guard? I don't think so. I didn't think it did. So my play here is start clicking D-Gleam and click it as hard as I possibly can. He goes for a switch. Yeah, this is where I say never say it's over because, you know, the double protect and the current game state was 4v1. Now, he had 2 of his mons very weak. One is a Scarf Smeargle and one is a Raichu Bomb Terra Ghost, so there's no fake out, no endeavors, nothing I have to be scared of. He also can't hit my Ghost type super effectively with his 4 mons, so I felt good in that sense. Here is not a mistake, but something I didn't expect him to do was switching the Raichu right here. I know why he did because I watched his video, and his plan was to let the Raichu die this turn. If Heatran dies and Raichu dies, you can then bring in Smeargle and Calyrex Shadow and click Scarf after you, Glacial Lance. The issue is since I've Terra Ghost, that doesn't kill and D-Gleam kills both. Or it doesn't kill both, but it kills the Calyrex Shadow, or it kills the Calyrex Ice, Smeargle goes down the Sash, it's locked into after you. So that was what he saw as the out, but since I was Terra Ghost, I didn't really care about that out. Here was my fear. Raichu has Nuzzle, and I really don't want to get hit by Nuzzle. So the switch here, I got really happy. So I saw the crit. We both said that's fine. Like, I was obviously, you know, happy with the crit. But when I saw that crit, I'm like, damn, this is bulky Raichu. It was AV Raichu. The AV was on the Raichu. I didn't know that. I just thought this was really bulky. But we pick up the Heatran with D-Gleam, chalk up a kill from Miraidon. Smeargle comes in. I see Smeargle here, and I'm like, oh, okay. I get it, right? Now I'm kind of assuming, like, he wants to try to get Transform off. Or he wants to get Calyrex. I kind of thought he might bring Calyrex Ice in there, then go for a Protect, and then go for the After You thing, and just see if a Glacial Lance will kill me. He found a better route than I did, which was Nuzzle with the Raichu. Nuzzle me with Raichu. Calyrex Ice will be faster. Or no, Calyrex Ice won't be faster, but you can Nuzzle me with the Raichu and hope for a full para. Full paras are your way out right now. So, there's the Transform. Here's the issue with Transform. Well, okay, knowing the buttons it had Fake Out, which is a useless button you cannot click. Okay? It has After You, another useless button you really shouldn't be clicking this turn. It had Transform, which is what I just clicked. And then, I'm pretty sure it had Follow Me. Don't click Follow Me, I'm specced into Dazzling Gleam. Don't click After You, that does nothing. Don't click Fake Out, that does nothing. So you might as well click Transform. The issue with Transform is I'm locking the specs Dazzling Gleam. He gets the Nuzzle. He wins the game if I get full parried right here. Because then he just clicks Electro Drift into myself, right? Luckily, we fight through the para. We get a double KO that turn. And now, here's what it comes down to. Can my Calyrex Shadow break through 1 of 2 turns, maybe even 3? I know I take 1 Glacial Lance. I may have taken 2. I never calced it. But I know I took 1. And we broke through. And that was it. It was a good set. Grape set right here the best, where they lost so much momentum on turn 1 of game 2. that it was just kind of hard to come back from. They came back from it very well. They adapted very well and played very well out of it. Um, Obviously Crucial lives, but that's just the game, right? You got some big lives on the Heatran. Heatran put in so much work. I did not expect them to not go Trick Room this set because of how fast my team is. But yeah, GG's to Grapejuice. You cooked incredibly well. I did not expect anything. The way I prep for a team that can attempt to cover every option. So when you get teams like Scarf Smeargle and loaded dice on Calyrex Ice, it's stuff I can't expect, which throws a wrench in my plan. Is I only got to do my plan once and it didn't even work the way I wanted to. So yeah, GG's to Grape, and until next time.